Our lives are made up of a series of stories. Thank you for listening to this episode of Tracy Talks. Remember to rate, review, and subscribe, and share with others who would enjoy listening to this podcast. Friends can find Tracy Talks available on iTunes, Spotify, Substack, and YouTube. Follow me on Instagram at more Tracy Talks. Our lives are made up of a series of stories. And if you're like me, you are someone that has experienced some, let's just say, difficult patches in life. And during these patches in life, when we doubted our strength, we doubted our safety, we doubted our choices, we doubted everything that was happening, we then can decide to close ourselves off to the world. We can close ourselves off to people, to new situations, to new opportunities, because our intuition, our choices, something in our past seem to have failed us. We look back and we saw the red flags, and for some reason, we decided to do the thing anyway. We decided to get to know the person. We decided to have a relationship even when there were flags. When I was young, when I was a little more carefree and I felt like I had plenty of time in the world, I wasn't so concerned with wasting time learning lessons. I wasn't concerned with, is this a good choice or a bad choice? Or, how is this going to impact the rest of my life? Because we have time. When you're young, you have plenty of time. Now, as I am older, I don't have time to waste playing games. I don't have time to waste getting to know people. I don't have time for nonsense. I have become more selective. I have become more deliberate. I have become more intentional with the choices that I make because I don't have time to waste. Our brains do get sort of an ego hit because our brains think they know everything. Our brains think they know what is best for you, that they know the path, and that always isn't the case. I'm also realizing that by being more selective, being more intentional, being more closed off with opportunities and new experiences, I'm also closing myself off to the stories in life. We want to just think sometimes that something's either good or bad. And if it's not all good, then it has to fall in the category of bad. And that's not actually the case. It is through our stories, it is through our living of life that we learn and grow. And even though a situation or a circumstance didn't turn out the way that we had hoped, didn't turn out the way that we wanted, it is still leading us to something else. And when we close ourselves off to new experiences because I've just been burned one too many times, I've been hurt one too many times, I've had too many things not work out, and we stop trying. We stop opening ourselves up to new. But we're also closing ourselves off to the potential there. We're closing ourselves off to the memories, to the stories. And I know that we're more than our stories. We're not just a story. But yet it's through this process of learning and evolving and opening up and experiencing that things do become clearer in our life. It becomes more clear what we want. It becomes more clear what we don't want. And it's through this process that happens. And I know so many of us are like, I don't have the energy to learn one more lesson. I don't have the energy to start something. I don't have the energy to give. And I fully understand that. I fully know what that feels like. But I also know how closed off I can be. And I'm also closing myself off to potential good. I'm closing myself off to potential opportunities. And let's face it, the more that I learn what I don't want, I can see those things in the beginning, and I don't even have to accept the challenge. It's like the universe presents a situation. It's like, do you accept or do you not accept? Nope, I'm not going to accept this because I've already done that. But his name was Bob or Brian or whatever else. But those two names, if those people show up in my life, I have to take the first available exit. This is going to be a year where I am learning to say yes. Yes, I will do that. Yes, I will try that. Yes, I want to know what that feels like. I want to experience that. Because that's all we really have in life are our stories. That's all we have are the memories. And some of the stories that go awry, some of those that are not planned, are some of the best that we have in our life. We end up in situations we never anticipated we would be in. We end up solving problems that we never imagined we could know how to do. Ultimately, we learn so much more about ourselves when we open up and embrace the newness in life. I don't want this life to be about, I was too afraid to try this. I don't want this life to be about, I was too afraid to do it. I was too afraid to experience it. I was too afraid to say yes. So many of us have been let down by the universe. We feel like we've been let down by life. And that can make us feel cold and hard and cynical. And I get it. I'm tired of being disappointed. I'm tired of learning lessons. I'm tired of having to be strong. I get it. But I also know that I have to continue living. I have to continue to say yes. I have to continue to show up if I want my life to grow into something that I actually love. Today is the equinox, and it's the perfect opportunity to say yes to the world, to say yes to everything that shows up in your life, to say yes to trying to find my passion and my purpose and my courage and everything that I want to bring into my life. The sun is in Aries, and Aries is all about initiation. It's all about taking charge and taking action of our life. This is the perfect day to set the intention. I am going to say yes to whatever shows up in my life. I am going to say yes to finding my tribe. I'm going to say yes to trying something new and learning something new. We can get pretty set in how we think and what we think we know. And how can you just open yourself up to the possibility today that you don't know everything and that you can open yourself up. You can be surprised by the universe. You can be surprised at what shows up. Today is the perfect day to step into a place of unknowing. Thank you for listening to this episode of Tracy Talks. Remember to rate and review, subscribe, share with others who would enjoy listening to this podcast. Friends can find Tracy Talks available on iTunes, Spotify, Substack, and YouTube. Follow me on Instagram at @more Tracy Talks. And until next time, we meet again.